Hi, good morning. It is Saturday, September 7th, our first Saturday of the month, is it not? I want to say so. Let me just look. Yeah, it is. And I'm your girl, B. Jules, the creator and author behind Words That Speak. And so, if you've been following me for a while, I've been doing my podcast for about 4 years, and the platform I was using is no longer usable for me. It's been taken over by a different company. So over the summer has been out, and kids and traveling, and so I haven't been able to find like a specific day or time that I feel works with my schedule. School's back in session now, so things are a little bit calmer. So I figured that today, Saturday mornings, tea time, will help. Oh, good morning. So I did an episode, I want to say, I think it was in July, and I introduced myself and Words That Speak. So if you haven't listened to it, please go back and watch it. But today I wanted to talk about how God found me. Because as a faith-based woman in my walk with Jesus, I was not looking for him. I was not anywhere near God. Nothing in my life spoke God or faith or hope. But yet, he found me. He chose me. And he came for me. So the saying that he left the 99 to find the one, that's me. I was that girl. So, Saturday tea time. So what I want T to stand for is trusting in God's timing. I want the E to stand for embracing his grace, and A, abiding in his truth. Those three things are essential to your walk with Christ. And they don't all come together as soon as you get saved. There's not this magical potion. There's not like your life is just going to be better. Actually, my life got a lot harder. And I will explain why. So I hope you have your favorite drink. Maybe take some notes, get your journal, pen, paper, or just listen with your heart, an open mind, an open heart, and I won't take up too much of your time. So I want to take it back to the year of 2019. I was drinking heavily. It was probably every weekend I could probably go through a bottle of Jaeger. That was my choice of drink. I know some people do not like it, but I was in love with Jaeger. And so the 750 ml bottle, $20 behind the counter. It was Thursday, started my weekend to Sunday. Sometimes during the week, I was a busybody. I was always out and about, always had something to do, but I wasn't productive in my busyness. So being busy doesn't mean you're always productive. So I found myself, it was right before my birthday, and so 39, 38, 37, 36, 35. So I was 34. I always want to think I'm 33, but I was 34. And I had been numb for a long, long time. I have been through a lot of trauma growing up, my childhood environment, then becoming a teenager, then getting into my adult life. I had a very dysfunctional way of thinking. I had a lot of toxic beliefs, mostly labels that were placed on me when I was younger, environments that I was in. I did not have any self-worth or self-value or self-love the way that I should. The way I valued myself was off my sexuality or if someone liked me. Basically, it was just by the opinions of others in the world. And that got me through a lot of my life. all my, like, my child, my teen, my adulthood, up until the age of 34. At the age of 34, I have 2 children. One's grown. One is in elementary school. I'm divorced. I'm single. And I am heading right back in the same lifestyle that I once had when I was in my teens and early adulthood. Hi, Jessie. Thanks for joining. And so being numb and holding in things and not facing stuff, you're like in a grave. You're stuck in this grave, and you keep doing the same things, hoping for a better outcome, which is pretty much the definition of insanity. So for me, drinking, smoking, having sex, being a busybody, I didn't ever feel safe in my home due to childhood experiences. And so I was always going somewhere, doing something. And it caught up with me. My numbing, my toxic belief system, my dysfunctional ways that I called normal, that God called toxic, was catching up, and I had no idea it was. You know, I was living. Like, to me, I knew I had some issues, but I didn't expect them to be as big as they were, because the thing with toxic belief systems and dysfunctional living is that it gets engraved in us and it gets deeply rooted. And so you're like a roller coaster. One minute you're up, next minute you're down. So you're always shifting with your emotions and with circumstances and with people, and you don't really have a firm foundation. And so I was doing that, but I had been doing it for so long that to me, that's just how life was. Like, I didn't know any better. I didn't know other people didn't live the way that I lived and handle the things I handled. And so I found myself around my birthday just in a very upset state of mind. I had a fight with someone that I truly cared for, that we had never fought before. And so that was weighing heavy on me. I started drinking even more just to numb my feelings. I didn't want to feel. I hated the feeling of feeling. And so it was probably like 2 weeks after my birthday. I got invited out on a Tuesday night. I have to work in the morning. I have children to get ready for school in the morning, but I'm invited out and I can't say no. And I'm already drinking. By the time I got home, I was already drinking. And so I remember going to this restaurant with a mutual acquaintance from like high school. We've known each other for quite some time, and we were hanging out a lot more. And so she invited me out, went out, had drinks there. Then they were going downtown. There was, I can't remember what the place was called, but I know it's something different now, but it was on Franklin Street. And she was like, hey, we're going to go out if you want to come. And of course, it was like salsa, merengue night. And I was like, oh, I want to come. You know, I got alcohol impairs your judgment. And to me, I grew up seeing people drink and drive. Like, that wasn't abnormal. I know the law says it's not, but when you see people do it and you've been doing it for years and you've gotten away with it, like, you don't really think that it's going to happen to you, you know, that anything's going to happen. It's just going to be a normal night. You may wake up the next day and say, I don't even know how I got myself home, but I got home. So I go out, I come home, I get dressed, I kiss my son, and I leave again. And I did not come home. I didn't come home that night. So I get to the club scene that we were at, and it was like an outside like bar, and then there was like another room where you could dance, and girl, I danced the night away, had a great night, but I was continuing to drink. And when I drink, I don't really eat, and water really wasn't a thing. Like, I didn't have no water for it. So now it's about maybe 1 something in the morning, and it's time for us to all go home. And the mutual friend was like, hey, are you good? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Which we all say when we're intoxicated and we want to drive because we're going to go home, and we've done it how many times. So for me, it wasn't anything like, oh no, I feel a little bit more intoxicated than I did last weekend or last time. No, it was kind of the same. I actually sat in my car for a minute texting somebody that I wanted to go sex. Actually, I wasn't even trying to go home. Now my mind was in this lustful desire. So, yes, Jess, we think we're invincible. We think we can beat the odds. We think we can beat the statistics. You know, our brains impair us, and alcohol does not help to better our judgment. And so now I'm like in this lustful desire. Homie's like right around that area. So I'm sitting in the car. So my mutual friend hits me and she was like, yo, you've been sitting in the car for me. You good? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm only maybe 20 minutes from my crib. Like, I'm not far at all. So I end up driving. He doesn't answer. So I end up driving home. I am probably like 10 minutes from my house. Like, I'm literally right there. I have a blunt in the car. I still have like a bottle in the car. I have a shot. I'm smoking. You know, this little clip that I got. And I'm paying attention to how I'm driving, so I don't want to speed. I want to go the speed limit. So I'm focusing so much that now I'm going a little bit below the speed limit. And I had a delay at a green light. So I didn't go as soon as it turned green. I don't remember that, but that's what happened. So I end up going. The next thing I see are, hi, Rebecca. Thanks for joining. The next thing I see are cop lights in the back of me. And I'm like, oh my God. And there's nobody else on the road. So it's for me. Like, it's for me. So now I'm like, oh my God. So I, throw back the shot I had in the car inside the little cup. It was Jaeger. Swallow the L. I spray myself. I got some all the little things you do, make sure your eyes aren't dilated. Try to start getting proper. I got my seatbelt on. I was driving like the speed limit. I'm like thinking, oh, I'm going to get out of this. Maybe I had like a taillight out. Not thinking nothing about that I'm drinking and driving. And so he pulls me over. I got my heels on. I'm all like cute and stuff. I roll down the window. And he's like, I need you to step out the car, ma'am. And I'm like, okay, no problem. I'll step out. So I get out the car. Another officer pulls up. So now I got two of them on me. And they're asking me all these questions. And I'm pretty much answering like normal. Like, yeah, I just came down from downtown. They're like, have you had anything to drink? Not thinking that you could smell liquor after I just took a shot on my breath. And I'm like, yeah, maybe like hours ago. It's been quite some time. They're still asking me questions. And so then they're like, we need to do a sobriety test on you. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. I wish I could see that video, because I swear I did it to the T. Like, I was following his finger. I walked, and I had my heels on. They didn't let me take off my heels. I had to walk the line. And after that, they conversated with one another, and I was ready to like get back in my car and like get home. Like, now it's like 2:30 in the morning. I could hear my phone ringing because my friend is calling to ask, did I get home safe? Because that's usually what you do. Well, they wouldn't let me go to my car. He was like, no, ma'am, you have to stay right here. And I'm like, okay. And then the next thing I know, he was like, yo, put your hands behind your back. And he handcuffed me. And then I got in the cop car. And then reality hit. I'm going to jail. I am on my way to jail, and no one knows. And I'm supposed to be home. And it is now 2-something in the morning on a Tuesday night. Girl, the tears came down my face. Like, I got sober instantly. I don't think I felt another hit of anything in my system. But there was something about the situation that changed because I was in the back of the cop car, and I wasn't just intoxicated with alcohol. I was intoxicated with my lifestyle, with all the drugs, the sex, the numbness, the dancing lifestyle that I lived, the trauma from my childhood, the anger that I had, the resentments. Like, I was more intoxicated. It wasn't about the alcohol. Though that played a part, it was more about, your life is headed in a really bad place. Because I was living way more crazier, and I really did never get in trouble. Like, I've gotten pulled over before, but I've always got myself out of it. And this time around, I really wasn't. I'm working, like, I got the kids, like, I'm more calm than I've ever been. But it wasn't about that. It was about my life was headed in such a bad direction. Like, and I had to get to the jail. I literally thought they were going to cut my hair off because I had all of these things in it, but I had a lot more. And they took scissors and they were like cutting, and I was treated so poorly, like an animal. And I just remember that. I remember feeling like such a caged animal and so disrespected. And then I had to sit there, and I remember it's like 5 a.m. now, and they call you up because you have to do your picture, then you gotta do fingerprints, and then they call you up to another station where you they show you your things, and they ask you, is this your property? And then you have to sign off on it, and then you get it once you're released. And so he calls me up there. Well, my phone was still on, and when I get up to the property desk, my son's calling. It's like 5 a.m. because where's mom? Now, it wasn't abnormal for me not to be home because, like I said earlier, I was always out and about, drinking, partying, doing it all. But they hadn't heard from me. And it's already like 5 a.m. and I haven't touched home yet. And there's been no calls, no texts from me. And I normally would do that. And that officer looked me dead in my face. And I was like, can I pick up, or can you pick up and let him know that I've been locked up? He looked me dead in my face like if I was like nobody. He had no, he was like, it was like inhumane. And he literally let me look at the phone, and he turned it off. And so, yeah, then I can only imagine, because I've been there with loved ones where I know something's bad is happening and their phone just goes to voicemail, and you just keep calling it over and over and over, hoping that it will just pick up. Someone will pick up. It will ring again. And, bro, I broke down. I literally broke down. And I had to sit there because you have to get sober for 8 hours. You have to be there about 8 hours before they even think about releasing you. And in those 8 hours, if booking starts happening where you got to change into orange and you go to the back, that's probably a whole nother scenario. Thankfully, I did not have to do that, but I did have to change into orange, which was a used orange suit. There was things on that, stains on that outfit that I don't even want to even think about where that came from. So I finally get in touch with my mother through the free phone call that they give you. It is now like 7 something in the morning. I'm not home. I'm not going to work. I'm not taking the kids to school. Like, no one knows where I'm at. I have one call, and if I call and the voicemail picks up, you don't have another phone call. So I was sitting there like, who's gonna be up to answer this phone? I didn't want to burden my mother. I didn't want to call my mom, but my mom knows pretty much my life. She has been with me. I'm an open book, but I just didn't want another disappointment, from her daughter. But I called her. She picked up. I had bail money. She came and bailed me. And I got out probably like around 11 o'clock the next day. It's probably about 11, 12. in saying all of this, that was a real big wake up call for me, because I got saved through this scenario. Like, I didn't know God. I never prayed. I didn't read the Bible. I've heard of God growing up, and like, I went to private school, but like, God was at school. God was never in my environment. He was never like in my home. You know, I didn't see him. I didn't know about a relationship. Like, I knew Jesus died on the cross for me, but like, that's all I knew. And I didn't know no prayer songs, worship songs. I didn't attend church. I didn't listen to church music. Like, I had nothing in my life that was like godly. And so that shame and despair and fear, in that process, I came home. I had to call my job. I had to be honest with the manager. I barely even knew. I thought I was going to lose my job because I didn't show up to work, like, and they were all like, where is she? Because I had never done that before. I've been to work hungover, intoxicated, and all other things, but I've just not shown up. And the shame that I laid in, wow, that thing was heavy. It was the most heaviest shame besides all my other shame. So it just piled, and I just felt like I just sunk deeper in my grave, just deeper. And, the difference between guilt and shame is guilt, you made a mistake, and shame is you are a mistake. And for me, I was a mistake. Like, regardless of the confidence I showed or the things I did, my confidence was in the world. My confidence was in my sexuality. My confidence was in my numbing. My confidence was in things that are not truly your worth. It's a deception. And so deep inside of me, I was a mistake. I always messed up. I wasn't, lovable. I was tainted. I was damaged goods. I was just all of these things. And that made it true. Like, all the things I would do or people would say, it just confirmed what I felt. And since I had been dealing with that for so many, you're talking about over a decade, this really got me there. And so, but in this, I had someone who didn't even go to church. He wasn't even godly either. He said something profound to me, and he was like, B, I think you need to go to church. You need to cleanse that juju off of you. You got some bad juju. And I'm like, church? What am I going to do at church? And so the mutual friend that I had went out with that night, she was just like, oh my God. Like, she felt bad because she was like, dang, I should have not let you drive. But she ended up inviting me to a church that I used to go to when I was like a teenager, called Crossover. And she still attended it. And so she was like, hey, do you want to come? It was like right after I got told that. I didn't tell her I was told that. It just happened. And through me getting in that back of that cop car, I got charged with a DUI. Through that whole process, God found me. Like, I literally walked into church, and I still didn't stop drinking alcohol just because I had a DUI. I drink even more now. I just couldn't drive. I was going to church intoxicated. And I just remember, like, feeling something I had not felt before. Like, I had this hope that, well, if this don't work, I don't know what else is gonna help me to be better. Because I seen all those people praising and happy, and they just seemed like they had something I had never seen before. And through that, I was just like, all right, well, this is me. This is who I am. What do I do, God? Like, what do I do? And I just remember, like, being so numb, I couldn't even, like, cry. I was just so numb. I was just so angry, and I was so fearful that it was hard for me to accept. But I wasn't in a place where I was against it either. I was at a breaking point. Like, I didn't really have any other options, I felt like. And so I decided, all right, I'm gonna give this a chance. And y'all, God has changed my life. He has changed my life around. And it has not been an overnight success, but it's been 5 years this October. So I got the DUI in June of 2019. In October, I hit the church. And I have been at church ever since. I am now in ministry. I have community. I pray. I read the Bible. I've changed what I listen to, the way I speak. I'm on a podcast talking. I am pursuing my dreams of being an author. I have a blog. I mean, my family dynamics have changed. That DUI was more than a legal scenario. It wasn't about the alcohol. It was God's way of finding him. And I didn't look for him. I didn't find him. He found me. He chose me. And he brought me through. He brought me through something I was so shamed about, that I couldn't talk about. I had so much shame. And yet he has peeled away all of it. Like, I do not walk in shame anymore. I don't. And I'm able to speak about this because it doesn't get to me anymore. It doesn't make me feel what I used to feel. And so I want to wrap up this podcast because I could keep talking, but I just wanted to tell somebody of how I got found. How God found me in one of my darkest moments, when I didn't even know him. I didn't know nothing about him. Nothing about his grace, nothing about his love, nothing about a relationship. And like, he took me and he stripped me. He isolated me. He has made an inner work in me that I could never have done on my own. And I just hope, I get teary-eyed just to think about it, because where I could be, probably in jail, dead, addicted to the drugs that I was on, I could be in so many other places. And I am just giving him glory through this podcast, that someone will listen to the story and know that you are never too lost. You are never too far gone. And what happens to you, you are not your mistakes. You are not what people say you are or your labels. You are a child of God. And if you will just allow God to move in you, and you allow him to just take you, because you don't have to be this person that you have to have it all together before he can do a work in you. He will use you where you're at. He will meet you where you're at, because he's a God of the valleys and the mountains. And if he could do it for me, he can definitely do it for you. So I just wanted to share this, and I'm hoping that through this podcast that I will be able to help one mind, one body, one soul, one spirit to find who they are, their identity, and get rid of those toxic beliefs and put their faith in God. Because I help women transition from a toxic belief system to a state of self-awareness rooted in God's truth through my brand, Words That Speak. Please follow me on IG, Facebook. Go to my website at www.wordsthatspeak.com. I have articles, I have resources, I have blogs, I have some of my other podcasts there. And subscribe with your email so we can keep in contact. I do not send spam email out, so it's only motivational, inspiring, and just being in community. And also, y'all, my further testimony, my whole testimony is coming out in a book, and it is called Addicted to Pain. And I am so excited because it's almost here. I have a meeting today with the editors. We are a little bit halfway through the book, and now I'm excited to see where we're going. So I'm praying that by the end of this year, beginning of next year, it will be here published, and I will be a faith-based entrepreneur author. And that is my dream, and I just want to use my testimony of what God can do for someone like you. So until next time, I will see you next Saturday. Same time, same place. And love you. Thank you all for joining and supporting me. Jess, Rebecca, love you guys truly. Mwah. See y'all next time. Bye.